And they're off.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Saratoga Racecourse. We have bright blue skies today. Really picture-perfect conditions here at the spa. The temperature will be in the 70s. The main track is fast, and the turf courses are firm. We have a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $400,000. Right now, we'll take a look at the changes for today's 9-race program. And we'll start in the first race, which is the Grade 1 New York Turf Riders Cup Steeplechase. A jockey change on the 2, Prava Laguna, to Bernard Dalton. Bernard Dalton rides number 2, Prava Laguna. Note that number 3, Radishan, will not wear a hood. No hood for the 3. Scratch 4, Belisarius, and 7, Stabile. Scratch numbers 4 and 7 from race 1. No changes in the second race. In today's third race, please note there'll be no show, trifecta, or superfecta wagering. Scratch 3, Cotton Candy Cutie, and the 6, Goodbye Broccoli. Scratch 3 and 6. No changes in the fourth race, which will kick off the Empire 6, and no changes in the fifth. Moving to race 6, we have a scratch there. Scratch 1A, Oh My Papa. Scratch the 1A. Race 7 is the Tail of the Cat Stakes, and there are no changes. No changes in the 8th race. In the 9th race, we have these scratches. Scratch 2, We Should Talk. 4, Manifest Destiny. And 8, Joe's Smokin' Gun. 9th race, scratch numbers 2, 4, and 8. We're fast and firm with a jackpot carryover in the Empire 6 of more than $400,000. We will return at 12:30 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 12:50. Coming up next, the Thursday edition of Talking Horses.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses. I'm Andy Serling. Anthony Stabile will be joining us shortly, but Tom Law is here. You can see I'm wearing the Saratoga Special hat he gave me. Oh, of course, Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. I got it right. No, even without Anthony here, I got it right. I got the Saratoga Special hat for Tom, who was nice enough to bring it to me. It's a glorious day here at Saratoga. 9 races, and possibly the last Grade 1 race in the Steeplechase calendar this year, New York Turf Riders Cup, and Tom will be talking about that, and then Anthony will be joining us for the rest of the card. Because you're going to enjoy the next 50 minutes so much that you need to do something. If you're not a member in Ira Bet, you need to sign up. You just, nothing comes for free, and this is really a gift anyway. If you're not a member, you sign up. You get a free $25 play We'll match up to the $200 of your initial deposit. Use promo code Derby25, and you'll be supporting racing in New York, keeping money in horse racing. It's important to do that. I mean, you know, ADWs in ways, the money needs to go into racing, whether it's to purses, the horsemen, or towards improvements on racetracks. It's important to sustain horse racing, and playing through NYRA bets is a way to make sure that racing can continue. Let's see, today, I have a friend who took down a third of this last week, by the way. He hit that pick 5 for $9,000, and he got $667 this. So it can happen to you. Through the app only, you'll split. If you hit the late pick 5 and you play it through the app, you will split the $2,000 with any and all the other people that hit it. We've seen people that have taken the whole thing down by themselves, so always worth playing the late pick 5 and playing it through the app and the app only. Also want to remind people, 3 more contests left, $250 buy-in, all cash prizes, $250 is $2,500, excuse me, seated in the pool. Head to NYRA.com/challenge for more information. And finally, last but not least, Sarah Live, all day, every day, 1 to 5:30 today, covering the races. That's on Fox Sports. The usual crew will be there. Go to NYRA.com/Saratoga Live for where you can watch it, including YouTube, the NYRA YouTube page. Tom, you're back. You abandoned us yesterday, but Anthony and I covered it. Tom, you know, we heard from Bill Gallo, who said we did a good job. So
I heard.
You could be in trouble.
The Clancy brothers told me that you were very entertaining.
Oh, good.
Humorous and good information.
We try.
So I
we
was
try.
proud.
I'm taking the hat off, but thank you for the hat.
I had no faith.
My
You're
mother will be
welcome.
happy. She's a little tired of my swing for the fences hat.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it last time. You said I'll take one of those hats.
It looks great.
To bring it. Now it feels like a month ago that we talked about it, but
how was the Saratoga
I remembered.
special?
Saratoga special's great. We got 11 issues in the books. Working on number
16?
12. We're doing 16. Yep. So 3 more after Saturday's edition. Take you right through the Kentucky Derby weekend, closing weekend here, and then even another Saturday edition after the meet is over here, kind of wrap up the meet and wrap up the Kentucky Derby.
And this is horseracing.com is where you can find that online, correct?
That's right. This is horseracing.com. We do Wednesdays and Saturdays, this meet. Digital only.
Now, anyone heading down to the Derby?
Possibly. Me. I may go. There's a limited number of media that have been approved.
Don't go. Don't leave us, Tom.
Well,
don't leave your friends.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about the crowd.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Why would you leave this?
And, I mean, I'm here, so I roll right out of bed.
Anthony's going to be crushed if you leave. I can see in his face. He's just, if Tom leaves and leaves us for the Kentucky Derby. Yeah,
I've missed him before. I've
never been to the Derby.
2 since, no? Oh.
I have a lot of interest in going.
Yeah.
Preakness is fun.
Preakness is great.
Preakness good. Easy drive, good time. Always
October
enjoy
3rd,
it.
right?
So let's talk about the New York Turf Riders Cup handicap. Who presents? You present the trophy, right? Wait.
I'm the president of the National Turf Riders.
Okay. Who's president of New York?
Dave Grenning, I believe.
The great Dave Grenning.
I'm not sure we're doing presentations for any of the
that's
races.
right.
Yeah. We tried to talk about doing the presentation for the Saratoga Special, which has obviously existed long before the Saratoga Special
I like
paper.
that.
And, you know, I heard that there weren't going to be any presentations, so you can't have one.
Couldn't you throw it from somewhere in the grandstand?
Could. Yeah, we could do an informal one outside after, back at the stakes barn.
I don't want to know about it.
Yeah.
That sounds like
I
shouldn't hear about that. Let's take a look at the replay with Moscato beating Optimus Prime, and Optimus Prime was making his first start off an extended layoff of over a year. Both of them carrying 160, and I know you want to talk about it. Snap decision, the first horse to carry 160 or more, and won yesterday.
It's his first horse since Petrosky won the 96 Turf Riders with Keith O'Brien riding.
Wow.
He's of course trainer now.
That's great.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. How did I not know that Keith rode?
Oh, yeah. His father,
I'm
too.
embarrassed.
Leo rode, too, way back when.
Leo?
Keith was a good jump jockey, yeah. Showing us Sean's
I'm embarrassed not to know that.
Yeah. So Optimus Prime, I mean, makes a big move in here. Gets the lead. Hadn't run in a long time. And sort of flattened out a little bit at the end. Maybe give a little credit to Moscato, too. Maybe that he didn't, necessarily, Optimus Prime didn't hang. Moscato just came and got him. Moscato had the benefit of a couple races, a little bit of recency. Optimus Prime did not, clearly. I reversed my picks. I went against Jack Fisher, which I think might be the first time all meet that I've gone against him.
I was going to say, it looks like it.
A big risk, especially considering Snap Decision won yesterday. Jack actually considered running him in here.
The way he won yesterday, I mean, that was a joke.
Yeah, he wouldn't have gotten 160 in here either. He would have been lighter, so because he's in the novice division still. But,
I mean, he ran by those horses like they were standing still, and the rider didn't lift a hand.
I know, just galloping. I mean, you watch him, I try not to pay too much attention to what riders are doing in the stretch, but like, I mean, he's looking back before they even went through the wing, and I'm like, well, this is over.
I remember, right, looking around the quarter, 5/16 of the quarter pole, the rider on Jonathan Shepard's horse was in a full-out drive, and was it Sean McDermott who rode the winner? He was just like sitting on him, like totally just sitting on him.
Yeah, peek back and
he just ran by him.
See ya. Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, nice horse. I mean, Jack is obviously loaded with his jumpers. So the horse, Good Night Shirt, he won 7 races in a row. This horse has won.
He was a good horse.
Yeah, he's won 7 races in a row. Good Night Shirt, of course, won 6 Grade 1s.
Did he?
Among those 7 in a row.
So none of those big hunt meets will happen, like
Well,
Far
they're on
Hills
the
and-
NSA schedule. I mean, highly
I know.
doubtful.
Look,
Yeah.
it's true of everything.
Yeah. So Joe Clancy, my colleague, actually wrote in his story that appeared in yesterday's Saratoga special that this would be the final Grade 1 of the year. There obviously haven't been very many. Ricky Hendricks, the trainer of Optimus Prime, basically said this is for the championship, and it really is kind of a championship caliber jump race. I mean, with Moscato and Optimus Prime, they're the two favorites. Obviously, 2 high weights, one carrying 160 pounds. I mean, they're giving anywhere from 16 to 20 pounds here. They're stretching out a little bit from the 2 1/16 to 2 3/8 miles. So maybe get some horses in here that are more galloper types. River D Stables, which is Sean Clancy kind of heads that up. Gibber Faro, he was 3rd in the Smithwick behind these two. He's in here again. He's in extremely light.
You got to have him somewhere.
Extremely
for the
light.
boss. You got to.
Yeah. Gotta have him in
Got to
the top
suck
3,
up the
right?
bust.
Yeah.
It's-
You can either go one of 2 ways in a race like this. They have the 2 high weights, and you just say that's just too much weight. The light weights are gonna do well, and they do well in races like this.
You know, the kind of horse that would capture my attention here would be Redican. Or is it
Redician.
Redicine, excuse me. Because this is my kind of horse, right? Made the big middle move in a race that basically fell apart. I mean, I don't know that more distance is going to be this horse's friend. That seems to be a concern.
Well, he was very sharp last time. You know, he was in the key race, obviously, and just couldn't hold on at the end. But he provided the pace in there. I think a lot of these guys that are in the race are a little curious as to what the pace is going to be this time. I think maybe they're hopeful that it's going to be him, but there is no guarantee that it would be him. Leslie Young, she also has the horse on the inside, Rashawn, who I actually like. He's actually in a little bit light. I think I put him in the 4 spot. He'll probably be a big price.
Talk about weight in these races and how much it matters.
Well, I mean, when the spread is that big, that's a lot. I mean,
Right.
160 is a pretty heavy impost, especially when you're giving 18 pounds. It can be important over 2 3/8 miles.
What's the most you've seen a successful jumper, the flatterers and horses like that, Lonesome Glory and those horses?
I mean, they would carry probably more than 160 back in the day.
Nobody carried over 170, did they?
Oh, I don't think so. No, I'd have to really dig into the research on that one. Joe or Sean.
I'm sure Joe and Sean
they
must
got it.
know.
They'd know it right off their head.
You ever go to a
See.
toy?
No.
Oh, I went to a toy when I was in
Did
Paris.
ya?
Well, it's right off the subway.
Wow.
It's the aqueduct of
Yeah,
Paris.
sure.
It's great. It's right. They have this great. Have I ever told you about this?
No.
They have this amazing course. It's like, I don't know if it's a 2-mile oval. It's huge. It almost feels like you're in Riverside Park, which is by where I live in New York, because there's like brownstones sort of surrounding it, and it's in Paris, and it's near Longchamp, but it's right at the edge of the Bois de Boulogne, where Longchamp is, and they have a figure 8 course. They don't use it for every race, but the horses go in it, and there's 4 jumps in the figure 8, and they go around and they jump over them, they come out of it, and then they run around the course the whole time. It's
Fun, right?
Awesome.
I've seen pictures
Big
and
fields.
I've heard about it. Yeah, I mean, you can't beat it, right?
Yeah.
Just a little bit of variety. I mean, European racing, they have a little bit of everything for everybody.
Yeah, it was great. We went in October a bunch of years ago, my friend John and I. They wouldn't let us in anywhere.
Oh, no?
We got there for the second race, and they went up to have lunch, and they said it's closed. And we got the impression they didn't want us anywhere. So we just sat
Americans.
by the paddock. They had a bar, and we watched harness races with people riding them on their backs. It was awesome.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
I've
great.
seen that too.
Yeah, it
That's
was
wild.
awesome. Yeah.
I saw Julie Crone do that
Yeah,
on a horse
yeah.
at the Red Mile,
Yeah.
paced the world record or something.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was living in Lexington, I'd never seen anything like that before.
It looks pretty funny.
Yeah.
Tom, thanks so much. Are there races next week?
I was going to look that up.
I hope this is
I
not
believe
your
there's
last
another one.
appearance here.
Yeah, there are 9 total. I don't think we've run 9 yet.
I
This might
can't.
be the
I
8th.
can't even count to 9 anymore. Well, thanks for
I
joining
didn't
us.
do a lot of show prep to not
All
know
right.
that answered that question.
No, you've been pretty good. I mean, you haven't been great. I don't think you were as much good as Anthony and I were yesterday, but I'd give you like a B plus, and off a layoff with missing yesterday.
All right.
You know, it was passable.
I've been watching my tapes to see if I can improve.
Have you?
I guess.
Nah,
yeah.
you're crushing it. You're doing great, Tom. Thanks so much, Tom Law from the Saratoga Special, and this is HorseRacing.com. Anthony Stabile from just everywhere. He'll be joining us in just a moment to go over the rest of the card. Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water, will continue in just a moment.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, presented by Saratoga Water. My good friend Anthony Stabile is here.
Hello.
You were a little late, sir, showing up. You had a little breakfast, nice breakfast?
Did, yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. Good to see you. How you feeling? Oh, you smoked out that good thing in the last race yesterday, that
nice
Big Al's gal.
Andy, I'm trying to promote Saratoga Water for a second.
I'm trying to compliment you. So,
Thank you. Yeah.
You know
Good
what?
job by Joe Alvazario.
I'm never going to compliment him again.
Good job by Joe
You know.
Alvazario. And I think what that yesterday was a great example of on the inner turf at those mile races how important position is.
I agree,
He
but
never gave up the rail. He had 3 or 4 horses trying to take it from him, and they all floated wide, and he was able to cut the corner. And I think the race was won right there on that first turn.
Well, that's clearly true, and if he hadn't drawn the rail, he obviously would have been a different story. But I also think there's an argument watching the other turf race on the inner that after the rain, the inside got particularly good. So I think it ended up just being a beneficial, but great pick. That horse was super live, too.
She opened like 7-2 or something.
No, like 5-2.
Lower than that.
Yeah, she was 3-1 for a while.
Yeah. If I could have smoked, if we could have found a biting star yesterday, I would have made a lot of money yesterday.
Well, if somebody told me that a horse that wasn't fast enough to have the lead and they would rate a horse trying to get a distance it probably can't get.
I spoke to Todd Pletcher. He left it in Irad Ortiz's hands. He did not, he told him he does not have to be on the lead. So
he does.
I'm just telling you. I texted
Thank
with
you.
Todd.
I appreciate that.
I wanted to see what the instructions were.
So now he has to run him long again and send him the lead.
No
and
question
see if
about
he can
it.
win with the lead.
No question about it.
So race number 2, we end up with the same horse. I knew you'd pick the same horse as me in this race. Why don't you talk about our selection, Simply Sweet?
Yeah, part of the reason I picked this horse, Andy, to be honest with you, I didn't like the rest of them in here. She's second time, stretching from 7-2.
She's Belmont.
A mile and an eighth. She has pedigree to go long. I like the Belmont second time starters. Yeah, there wasn't really wasn't much else in here. I'm not thrilled with the rest. I'm just not. I don't think there's really anywhere else. You and I see the race.
Well,
exactly
I don't know. Okay, let's talk about Simply Sweet. We'll actually talk about her race. She kind of got sort of bumped off at the start and just was taken back and dropped completely out of the race. And it was a race that was dominated in the front end in a fast pace, and she lost to good horses. Now, she also lost by a great deal. And she really didn't do a heck of a lot of running in there. She has a pedigree that says she should do better with more distance. For what it's worth, did I show the stat, Steve? No, but I meant to. Bill Mott is 8 for 30. It's not that. It's 8 for 38, 21% with a 230 ROI, stretching out in the dirt with maidens in their second start. So he has good numbers doing this. And it's just like you say. Thankful's the other horse to beat, I guess. I bet Thankful last time. She had a perfect trip. I don't know. She ran fine, but not that well.
Right,
She's no great mountain to climb.
I feel like the rest, and maybe it's not fair to indict Thankful off of one start on the dirt and one other start on the turf, but I mean, Pago, Querido, the 5. I don't
That's
really.
that's a weirdo horse.
Yeah, I
Pago
guess.
Cordido was 7-5 first time out, and for what it's worth, Mike Stidham, who ships this horse up here at 1 1/8 miles, is 7 for 27, 26%, 237 ROI, stretching out maidens in their second start. But this horse has a competitive edge. But I'll tell you one thing.
She's going to be in front.
See, this is kind of your kind of horse because she's going to be in front.
I thought about
unless
her.
she falls down coming out of the gate. I mean, she's way faster than these, but I don't like the race she's coming out of. But it's such a counterintuitive. I actually thought about picking her at least second.
She's coming back a little quick. She's coming back in less than 3 weeks.
But he knows that.
She's got to stretch. She's going to be in front, right? 6 to 9 is a lot tougher than going from 7 to 9.
I agree, and I'd say, yeah, but it's just a weird spot.
Weird spot.
And I'll say one thing. Anybody that thinks that they didn't try with her last time, I would watch the replay.
And you know, the
because
whole
they
filly-
they tried extremely hard with this filly last time.
Everything, I mean, she's really interesting. Training at Keeneland, winds up with the Monmouth string,
Right.
runs at Delaware.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, she's up here in Saratoga.
You're making some great points here, my friend.
I mean,
I wonder if
I'm
Keeneland.
basically talking myself into using
Well,
it.
she is the interesting horse. I mean, there is an argument
That race
we
was
should
so
ever hire.
slow, and
It was
she
a
was
terrible field. I
bad.
looked at it,
Oh.
but I don't think I think there's an argument that you're not supposed to handicap her. You know what I mean?
You're
You're just supposed to say
she's speed.
she's going to the
Go
lead,
ahead.
and she's the kind of horse you don't want.
And she's going to be 6 to 1. She's going to be 5 to 1.
And what monster does she have
No.
to deal with? Our horse is not exactly. And we're talking about a horse that's 8 to 5 morning line. It's going to be short, and there's no guarantee she can really run. I want to show you Heavenly Sis. I mean, I'll tell you something. Isn't there an argument? And this is Heavenly Sis last time. I know she has 4 seconds and 7 starts, but isn't there a reasonable argument that Heavenly Sis might be the best horse in the race? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
mean, her-
It's far from impossible.
Her race is 2 and 3
Well, no, the
back.
run's pretty good.
Her race is 2 and 3 back. Out a mile. Were better. I mean, the mile and the 16th race in the slop and her second start's probably her best race.
2 turns, right? And then
Yep.
a second to Chad Brown's horse, Union Maiden
Yeah.
at Churchill. I mean, you and I like the same horse here, and we've taken the favorite, but I'm not sure on close. I don't really want Heavenly Sis because she's got the 4 seconds and 7 starts, but it's not like she's going to be a super short price. Though she'll be a similar price to our horses. I think
Right.
it'll be closer than David thinks.
Right, 2 to 1, 5 to 2, 3 to 1, maybe something like that here.
Pago Corrido feels like the kind of horse when I was much younger, I would always bet. I'm not sure I wasn't right
The
to bet them.
competitive edge bugs me on top
I
of getting
totally
the 9
agree,
furlongs.
but-
If she had a different kind of a different sire, maybe with a little more stamina influence, I probably
I
would have
agree.
pulled the trigger. But
But you know what? Mike Stidham, who's no idiot,
He knows
he
what
knows
she
the
is.
source of competitive
Yeah,
edge.
he knows her pedigree.
You know, and he's shipping her up here to run. I mean, maybe he just wants to take a shot. They did pay a lot of money for her. Maybe, they wanted
especially
to.
for a competitive edge, they almost paid
Yeah.
20 times the stud fee.
This is the kind of horse that's going to be 4 in front at the 8th pole, and you're going to be saying to yourself, "What an idiot I am for not picking this
You
horse."
might be right.
You know, it just feels like, win or lose, she's the horse that you're supposed to talk
You
about.
make a potentially great point.
Well, we are idiots. We have to start with the presumption that we're a couple of idiots. So race number 3.
One's just bigger than the other.
Race number 3, I got to tell you, is truly one of the funniest races I've ever seen. You got a good scratch with the 6 coming out, so we could agree another race. We were going to disagree finally in a race. I don't know. Here's
Wait,
Awesome
you liked
Atlantis.
Goodbye Broccoli, didn't they, too?
No, you did.
I liked
liked
Goodbye
Awesome
Broccoli
Atlanta
a lot today.
Well, good scratch. No, she could win. I'm teasing you. I picked her 3rd. She could win.
She
Honestly,
can't win now.
I'm going to tell you something about this race. Awesome Atlanta ran fine. This race was won wire to wire. I don't trust her. She's claimed. I mean, I don't mind claim from Chad Brown. I just, Chad dropped her in for a quarter. Linda Rice claimed. I don't know.
Almost 6
I mean,
months.
isn't Jose Lozcano just supposed to go with her?
Right. Well, that was the thing. It was going to be Awesome Milana going and Goodbye Broccoli sitting off her, or vice versa in here. And I just thought Goodbye Broccoli had a little bit more. I mean, obviously she had better turf form, and she just had maybe a pinch more class. She's a Sire Stakes winner, Stallion Series winner. Yeah.
She was a nice horse at one
She
time.
was.
Yeah, no, she was a very nice horse one
That's
time.
what I mean. And this race is kind of that type of field, right? Out of Trouble has races. She could beat these on memory, as they say.
She's had a bit of a trip last time, but man,
she
she
just hasn't-
I
she
just don't
hasn't
know if she can
ran
run at all
lately.
anymore.
No,
I know.
And we'll talk about this again. Her speed. If I would have told you there would be a day where Out of Trouble was in a race where they went 50 and she wasn't 5 in front.
Well, We've seen some goofy turf races here. This year is starting to remind me of 2015 when every rider grabbed in every turf race, because we are seeing some silliness out there in some races. Not all of them, but some of them. First appeal, you have second, and is the morning line second choice. I could never. Nobody winning this race will surprise me, and Javier will probably look to go to the lead with this horse. Her form is horrifically bad, and do you have any confidence she can get a mile? But maybe in this field, she can.
Let me ask you a question. Is her form that much worse than
anyone's? No.
Out of Trouble or Miss Jen?
Well, no, it's not worse than Out of Troubles. But, yeah, here's the thing with Miss Jen. Miss Jen, 2 back, actually ran well enough to win this race. And she's going to be a big price.
And you don't think First Appeal ran well enough 2 back?
The problem is that she's 9-5 morning line, a 4-horse field, and Miss Jen's 8-1, a 4-horse field. I would rather bet Miss Jen in this race, frankly, than First Appeal at 3 times the price. You won a lunch yesterday, by the way, at 56.
Yeah, this is.
It's actually close. We had prices, and they both ran similar, ran close.
Awesome Alana, you're going off the one turf race, but like you said, there's a lot of knocks there. I mean, claims this horse for the quarter, keeping this horse at the same level. We haven't seen this horse for a week shy of 6 months at this point. Chad, while people have had success, he's not the easiest guy to claim horses off of. Certainly not the easy. He's certainly hard to improve off of.
It's not. That's not what it is. When you claim from Chad Brown, you're not getting damaged goods.
And that's the most important thing.
But what you're getting is somebody who's running a horse where it belongs. A lot of people will say, oh, he's dropping to win a race, which he is in a lot of occasions, like a lot of people. Having said that, how many of those horses that he claims, do you think of some of the Klarovich drop-downs? People think, well, he's running this horse for 16. How many of those horses ran for 16 right away the next time they ran? You know what I mean?
Look, we have a few. The idea of the claiming game is to claim horses and improve them, right? When you claim horses off Chad Brown, you're getting, for the most part, right? Because we don't know. None of us are, all knowing. You're getting healthy, sound, happy horses. But now you have to improve them off one of the best traders in the game.
I have a question.
Sure.
Steve just brought this up. Is the waiver still?
No. So the waiver, I looked into this.
Was it Belmont?
The waiver was at Belmont only. Because when we came up here, when I was handicapping the opening day card, I remember saying to myself, why aren't some of these horses
Because Steve just said to me, why didn't you use the waiver? And I was thinking, I don't think it was only for Belmont.
Oh, it was only at Belmont.
Yeah.
The waiver was only at Belmont. I've actually answered that on Twitter.
I got to tell you, the amount of pertinent information that's just being spewed out
by the great Anthony Stabile. Because it was the first.
This is really a moment.
I think it was this. Well, the first race was the Clayman race, and I think there was a horse in the Grit and Glory race. There was a horse in that should have been wavered and wasn't, and I went to the condition book, and the waiver was gone.
So the 4th race today, which will kick off the pick 6. The early pick 5 starts in race 2. The early pick 4 in race 3.
Yep.
Race 5 will be the late pick 5. Race 6 will be the late pick 4. And, of course, the first 5 and 6 will end in the 6th.
Lots of crossover today.
A lot of crossover. This is supposed to be, for Tom Morley, this horse 3.09 is just supposed to win this race, right?
Yep.
I
no
mean,
question about it.
We'll take a look at the race. He actually finished 5th in. I forgot to circle him. It was a race the disciplinarian ran 3rd and ran
Not hard
fine.
to miss him, though. He's on
I'm
the
going to
front
tell you
end.
something, though. The horse that I kind of learned out of this race is Freudian Analyst. You got to say something to Freudian Analyst. He's completely turned his life around recently for Keith O'Brien, turf sprinting.
Yeah.
This horse actually ran well last time.
I think he ran that poorly 2 starts back. I don't think the field was great, but I thought he ran well 2 starts back,
I think he ran terrific, and 7 maybe a little far for him.
Yep.
I think he's very much a player in this race. A disciplinarian can win, but, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
The 3.09, Louis Sai is supposed to go to the lead, and he's supposed to wire the field today.
Right. My issue with disciplinarian, who I did wind up putting second, last time was the more favorable scenario for him. He has 3.
I agree with you.
He has 3.99 coming off the layoff, going 5 for, off the 5 months. He's probably going to need the race. Disciplinarian had the race off the break. If he was going to beat him, you would think it was that day where 3.99 was going to face some pace pressure like he did. Where's that pressure coming from today?
Who's going to be favored? I think David's
he's got to be favored.
I think David's got it.
I agree.
I mean, he has the same price, so I don't think.
Right, but I do believe he'll be the favorite just because people are going to see that. And we see races up here where there's no.
He looks too good.
There's no speed.
I know.
This horse
looks too
he's
good,
fast.
but
He's
he
a
looks
fast horse.
too good.
Yeah.
The horse that I will fall out of my chair if he wins is Boom Boom Kaboom.
You liked him. I
liked him last time, and I've had some bad picks this meet. This was probably one of my worst. That's steady 16th. is about as meaningful as, you know, somebody mildly jostling you when you're walking by them in a crowd and you don't even notice it. He was awful and had an absolutely perfect trip. I mean, Manny could not have given this horse a better ride last time. I know he's taken the blinkers off, so maybe you want to say, well, he hated the blinkers. Okay, if he hated the blinkers, I guess it's possible, but he was bad last time, Ed. Bad.
And like you said, from that inside draw, a horse like
Manny
him,
worked out a perfect trip.
I couldn't believe it, and
Blew out.
he just
What a waste. What a wasted great ride.
A wasted ride. Yeah. Yep. He just didn't fire. I mean, I don't know where else you want to go. The two's a little warm. The two's a little fuzzy.
Will Allen Peevich making a guest appearance by Talking Horses.
I heard you guys talking about Keith. You know, Keith also does a lot of voiceover work.
Keith O'Brien.
Yeah, Keith O'Brien does stuff for HRN. He does a lot of our voiceover work, and
nice.
He does voices.
I'm embarrassed that now that I think about it, I remember when he used to ride, but I'm embarrassed that I forgot
I
he used
could
to ride.
play you stuff that we use on some of our national broadcasts. You would never know it was Keith. That's how talented he is doing voices and accents. And
he's a very nice guy, too.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Whole family.
Yeah, I agree.
Leo's a legend.
Leo is a legend in this game. I totally agree. He's, I think, you know, you think back.
It's a shame how people.
Well, he went to Europe and won a classic with a New York bred. That's something that can't really happen. We will take a break to hear from our good friends at Saratoga Water.
For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Thank you for staying with us, and welcome back to Talking Horses. He is the Big A, Anthony Stabile. I'm Andy Serling. Talking Horses brought to you by Saratoga Water. I got to tell you, the fifth race, which is a pivotal race starting the late pick 5 and part of the early pick 4 and 5, it just gave me a massive headache. You know, you've got horses that ran extremely recently. You've got the Leave You With a Smile race, where Leave You With a Smile beat Customer Experience, who's been claimed by Rudy, and Rudy has great numbers off the claim with dirt sprinters. It's Danny Gargan. Danny Gargan has lousy numbers, frankly, and I'll show you those numbers. I mean, the percentages are good. I shouldn't say they're lousy. He wins at 24% with his claims in the dirt sprints, but because he's Gargan and he gets bet a lot, the ROI is not good. Now, Rudy gets bet a lot, too, and Rudy wins at 30% with a huge number. I didn't put it up. I put it up for a horse on Saturday. That's why I remember it so clearly. But, you know, listen, 25% is fine, 24%, but this horse is not going to be 3-1. No. And you have to evaluate stats for who the horse is. If this was a 6-1 shot and you see Danny winning at this, then you don't care what the ROI is. But when you're dealing with a horse that's going to be at a 2-1 range the most, and is the horse to beat off that race? I mean, I think, you can ask, why did Jeremiah Englehart give up on this horse? But the thing about trainers like Danny Gargan with horses like this, they usually get them to run well. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, this is a horse who, like you said, you almost feel like the prior barn gave up on this horse a little bit. And what guys like Danny does a really good job at taking, I don't want to say reclamation projects.
But she doesn't have any big fast figures to get back to be fair.
Certainly she has races that, she doesn't have one race that's going to beat these horses. She has 3 or 4 races on her card that will beat this field. And I think he does a good job at identifying that and trying to bring them to the place where the previous connections thought they could go. And I think for the 25,000, he claimed this horse for 25. Claims this horse for 25 now. Not a good
20.
sign. This horse is running for 20.
No, I agree. I agree. Obviously, Danny's trying to win a race with the horse, and it's going to be a profitable move, only dropping 5,000. And a question with Customer Experience is if Rudy can improve her. I've never liked this horse, and I don't like her race 2 back. Rudy's going to have to improve Customer Experience, which he very well may do.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to stand here and tell you I love this horse. Rudy, first off the claim, was basically the deciding factor for me. I left.
Saffy Joseph is the one who got this horse to run competitively.
I left the 4 and the 8 out of this race. You could tell me the rest of them would
No,
win.
no, I didn't like Lady Chico. I thought she was a little hard to make. Last time was the time,
as you would say. But the rest of them, I mean.
Well, let's look at Persian Queen and Mosienko running just 6 days ago. I mean, the truth is, and I say this having liked Persian Queen in this race, the horse you want is Mosienko. Because as much as I like Joel, this may be one of the rides that Joel will look and think, I wish I had this one back. Maybe. I think what he tried to do was the horse that he thought he may have to beat on the outside. He tried to get the jump on that horse. The horse I liked ran 3rd or 4th, or didn't run well. Bruce Levine. I think he tried to get the jump on making faces, making out.
Making faces. Old Greeley,
Bobby
Sabine
Barbera.
stable.
Bobby Barbera, yeah.
Bobby Barbera did something with that horse one time. Mike Smith was on days. He skipped a 2 other end to wait for Mike Smith to come back to, or if I didn't see it happen, I saw him tell Steve Adik, he goes, oh, I'm on days. All right, I'll wait for the next one, because he didn't want to lose Mike Smith. Never forget that. It was weird that you brought that name up.
Ripley's. The problem with these 2 horses in the race they come out of is it's just woefully slow relative to the 2 horses we're talking about.
Slow a week ago, yeah. You probably I want the horses that are a little more fresh.
I kind of want to use the 5 Sirenic, but then you got to realize that she won a 3-horse race last time.
Yep.
And she's kind of slow too.
Yeah, she'd have to really step up her game.
Yeah,
she's got to.
But she's the stranger of the crew,
yep.
And you know I can never resist a stranger at a price.
Yeah, she'll be a price.
I was going to throw her in, but a 3-horse field last time at Ellis Park does not inspire confidence.
Life, no less.
Race number 6. What are you doing in race number 6?
I think I got a little goofy. I didn't see the line.
You got a little goofy
today.
Okay, why don't you tell us why?
Future Book has run twice on the turf. 2 starts back in a 6-furlong race downstate at Belmont Park. Horse didn't do a lot of running that day.
Horse has done no running in either one of its turf races.
And then last time out, stretching out. This horse cuts back. Dave Dong's horse has been running well. He gets a Rod Ortiz Jr. to ride this horse. And it's not like it's a big drop. This horse ran for the 42 life, 2 starts back, was back in against straight 3-year-olds last time. So, if anything, it's a lateral move. I feel like maybe I'm getting sucked into a Rod Ortiz Jr. here. Why is he riding this horse? Like, this horse makes no sense for one of the leading riders to be riding. And I don't like I don't like these horses.
Okay.
So I'm taking a horse that's had
but here's the problem.
Experience.
Here's the problem. You're kind of taking the worst of it because Irad's riding it. Because he's going to be bet because of it. A lot of people are going to think, what price is this horse? 8-1 morning line. It's not an 8-1 shot on paper. Listen, I'm not, there's nobody here on solid ground. So I'm not
right, I think that's the best way. There's another one of those races where, I left out Lynn's Boy.
Well, I think you left out this horse, Jack of Clubs. You got him 4th. Switching to Mike Maselli, does nothing but run well. He had a trainer switch, and Kelsey Danner took a tough beat. As you may recall, that I bet at 9-1. That's coming back tomorrow. And I thought this horse ran fine when he won. And last time out, 7 furlongs, was a huge price in that race. I just think this horse makes a lot of sense in here.
Okay.
I don't
know. Mike's getting this horse and dropping this horse in with conditions.
It's where the horse belongs. Horse can't win a non-winners of 1 New York bred race.
Yeah.
You don't have Big Wonder anywhere. Isn't Big Wonder better than these horses? I don't trust him.
Yeah, I don't trust him.
I know, but he's capable of winning. I'm going to take a shot that Wyatt Williams, the speed of the speed for Jimmy Bond. That's my opinion. Just go. He may be faint-hearted and not be able to win, but like to see them be aggressive. If you have to go a little fast to get the lead, go a little fast to get the lead. But I think if he gets the lead, he can wire this field. He won here last year, and he's been running against much better horses. And he actually comes out of that race that your horse was in 2 back and ran obviously much, much better. And both of those horses were off the rail, and that was a good rail day. Will's leaving if you want to say goodbye to him.
No, I'm good.
You're fine?
Will's
Anthony doesn't want to say goodbye, Will.
See you, Will.
No.
Wild William.
Wild
There's Will.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to tap out today. Ooh. And you already picked the horse.
Anybody else?
I don't believe so.
Finished Saturday's card yet?
No.
What's going on with you? You've been on top of your game. What did you do last night? Something happened last night.
Something
happened last night. You got the show late. The Tale of the Cat. Were you here when he won the with Julie when he won the King's Bishop? And he went that sizzling 43 and change half.
Probably down at Aquatoga.
That was some performance. Then he won on the grass here. It's a nice horse, Tail of the Cat. John Forbes?
John Forbes.
Yeah.
Yep. Phil knew a guy that was part of the syndicate that owned
Phil.
him. Phil was
Really?
good friends with a guy that was part of the syndicate. I think his name was Brian.
He's rich now. He's probably on a beach somewhere, sipping pina coladas.
They got like,
They did well with that horse. It's a good sire.
yeah, big number. Big, like a number that they couldn't say no to.
So here's
Wisely
Stan the Man in the
couldn't say
True
no to.
North. It's the horse to beat. I didn't love this effort, but it was fine. Probably the horse to beat.
First start
He's
off
a little
the
more
break.
reliable than iHorse.
Think about the blinkers off here. It's a curious move.
You
isn't it?
are. I circled it because I knew you'd go wild. You'd love blinker changes.
It's just a curious move.
Do you ever lose sleep over blinker changes?
No, 400 and Source earned almost 440,000 in his career.
That's important.
No, what I'm saying is, like, the Source has been, you know, he's earned money.
6-year-old
every
with
year.
blinkers off. Maybe Joel told him he thought he should take the blinkers off.
Maybe he did. And Joel will be a little more forthright. Some other Kendrick Carmouche is very big on giving pointers. So when he's
Why wouldn't you
Joel's
listen
the same
to
way.
successful riders? I mean, they can offer their opinion. You don't have to listen.
Absolutely.
But why wouldn't you want an opinion from somebody who's
Absolutely.
these guys are
Just
good? They know what they're
classier.
doing.
He's just classier than these horses, isn't he? Right? He's just classier than these horses.
Do you know? I just got a text. I don't even know who this is from. Who is this from?
The only non-New York bred in the field. The other four are all New York breds.
Really? That
You
is
wanna talk
true.
about your text? You all right?
Bruce Brown apparently rubbed Tail of the Cat.
Wow. Oh, that would make sense. He worked for
Wish
John.
he had a horse in the race.
Yeah.
He did work for John. I did not know that.
Yep.
Did I know? Who do you, oh, he worked for Tim Hills before he went on his own, right? I think he's the horse to beat. I'm going to try My Boy Tate in here. We'll take a look at My Boy Tate running second, and T Loves a Fight. I'm sorry, running third. T Loves a Fight running second. I don't know how T Loves a Fight refound that form. I realize the Noda horses have been, they've slowed down a little bit.
He doesn't run a lot of horses.
Yeah, he hasn't run that many since the big run. We'll see. I thought My Boy Tate, second. I just feel like he's got the better races overall. I know he's a little long in the tooth. He's a little unreliable at 6, but I'm going to hope he runs one of his good races. I'm a fan of this horse, and I took him as the alternative. I thought it was 2 and 4. And took the
I'll
4.
tell you what. His
What?
prior form doesn't tell this tale, but I think less distance might actually benefit him now.
disagree. I don't disagree.
He kind of looked like he was running in place the last 8th or 16th of a mile last time.
That's fair.
And now maybe less, and he's taking cutback to cutback, mile to 7, 7 to 6.
Remember how good he got 2 years ago or
It was
2 years
amazing.
ago?
It was
He
amazing.
never really got that form back after the layoff.
No. And I know his races they've been similar, but I always felt like he was a little bit better with some moisture in the ground. 4 for 4 on wet tracks. He's run well on fast tracks, but I think, and maybe it's like you said, maybe he just handles it better than his competition. But I always feel like he was just a little bit better on wet tracks.
Binkster lost to Yalpon last time, and he ran well. Yalpon, I believe, he's nominated. I would assume he's going to run the Amsterdam next
I would
week.
think.
I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. Steve Asmussen, what a barn he's got. What do you think of Toby's Heart yesterday, by the way?
Fantastic.
78 buyer.
Speed
So a
ran,
little bit of a
speed
drop
ran,
back, but
speed ran 2-3, right?
right. It was a slow pace.
I
Circled
think
the field.
I think the first two are okay because the second
Second horse is a very cool horse. The second horse had won in the first 3 starts. The horse would have won on dirt, synthetic, and turf. I'll
Right.
bet you no horse has ever done that.
and she ran a winning race yesterday. She's got beat by that was a gorilla.
She had a good trip, but she did run well. No, the second
She
horse
only
is
lost
a
to Ebony Ground.
very cool horse. Yeah, I
Joy's
did-
Rocket.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Toby's Heart really legitimized the first effort.
Yeah.
Toby's Heart's a very good horse. Now,
Very
I don't
nice
know
horse.
how long she wants to go. I have no idea what Brian's plan is with her. I mean, they may have to try stretching her out at some point. Maybe you try it out, and if she can't, you run in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, even though she's a filly against the boys. And if she
Does
can,
it matter? You think it matters right now?
well, we'll see.
She's got a devastating turn of foot. That
turn
kick.
of foot.
It's a big kick. She's got a big kick. I mean, he didn't worry about losing ground. He just kept her out there.
They had no
Swoop.
choice.
I think when you're as talented as she is, just stay out of her way and keep her out of everybody else's way. Did the right thing.
Jose's back in front.
Jose's back 3-2 yesterday. What was it?
3-2.
3-2 yesterday.
No, 2-1, I think.
2-1.
Yeah.
No, they each won 2. Everybody won 2 yesterday. Joel, Jose,
okay.
Benji won 1, and Castellano won 1. The other guys won 2 each.
Javier will be riding Rushing Fall. in the Diana, which we draw today.
Just talked to Bob
Sister
Edwards
Charlotte.
walking in today.
Oh,
Gonna get,
first time you've seen Bob?
Gonna get dinner. Saw Bob walking out of Prime on Monday night. We're gonna get some dinner next
you
week.
know, you guys were practically dating last summer. What happened?
Bob was following the quarantine rules and wasn't taking visitors, unfortunately, and we'll try and make up for lost time.
Bob
the last
Edwards, of
couple
course,
weeks in the meet.
owns E5 Racing, one of the
Best.
nice guys in horse racing for
Awesome.
sure.
Bob
Excellent
and Chris
guy.
are great.
Yep.
Whole family.
Race number 8. Lead guitar. We'll take a look at lead guitar. 3 starts back at Churchill. Last time on the turf when she was running on firm turf. She broke through the gate last time and just seemed to show no interest in the race whatsoever. She's a funny horse because she used to have a ton of speed. Now she doesn't. I don't trust her. She's way the horse to beat here. I'm not against her. I just don't trust her completely.
Strange to happen in 7 starts too, right, Andy? Only 4 years old. 7 starts, she went from being a horse that, you know, you put your binoculars towards the front of the pack and she'd be a couple lengths off the lead, couple 3 lengths off the lead, and now you're looking for her out the back. That happened very quickly too. Eddie Keneally didn't come up this year. Brings a New York bred up from Kentucky. Makes a lot of sense. Nice pot. The optional condition is a money allowance condition. So, yeah, I mean, she ran into some nice fillies down there. Even the dirt race, the filly that won that race, I think is going to be okay. She scratched out of an Ellis Park Stakes race. She won the Open A of the Nan fairly easily. We just saw down at Churchill Downs. Looks like she gets some pace around here, too. You know, Quality Stones.
There's no pace in this race whatsoever. Stop imagining pace. Quality Stones isn't that fast and is trying the turf and doesn't have a lot of turf
Other
pedigree.
Quality Stones, Elegant Zip, Spikestown Gal.
Anthony, there's not a lot of speed in this race.
Okay.
There isn't. That's a bit of a concern for her because in her current incantation, she's not a big speed. That worries me about her a little bit. And I also don't like she didn't run last time. I know it was soft turf. I know she broke the gate. All those are legitimate, but it still bothers me a little bit. I mean, she ran well on good turf at Keeneland last year, but maybe the break to the gate just completely just sort of knocked her out of the race, right?
And that was.
I don't know
mean,
what happened.
It's very hard.
Do you know how far she ran off?
It's no. But
You weren't at Ellis
I
that
will
day?
tell you this.
The Pea
It's
Patch?
very, very hard to make any kind of judgment off that turf course. The day before, the main track basically floated away. They canceled the races after the 4th race, the day before that Kentucky Downs preview card. And the only reason they keep those races on the turf because
You are on top of your game
well,
today,
all
my
when I
friend.
do weekend stakes preview presented by Naira Bet, you got to stay on top of the national.
Do you think
scene.
that cost you or hurt you, the canceling? You had some locks later that day at Ellis?
No, they didn't. It canceled on Saturday and ran the card on Sunday in a bog. I mean, they got so much rain on Saturday, they canceled after the 4th race. What I'm saying is Kentucky Downs subsidizes the purses at Ellis to preview for their meet. So they ran 5 stakes races like this one on Sunday. And for all I know, they got 3.5, 4 inches of rain on Saturday because the main track literally floated away.
Did it help the peas grow?
What?
Help the peas grow?
This guy don't. I mean, I'm trying to talk serious here. Well, I'm telling you that
I'm not.
you don't even worry about that race because, in all likelihood, if it wasn't Kentucky Downs preview day, they'd have been on the dirt or canceled entirely. So I'm not going to use that race as any type of measuring stick.
Okay, no, that's good, great stuff. Thank you. No, that's great. No, I think it's very fair. And she's the horse to beat. I put her 3rd at a short price. I just don't totally trust her anymore, but I have no argument. She's way the horse to beat. Let's take a look at Spikestown Gal, who I do have on top. You've got her 4th in here? How do you have her? And you have important
Well,
one.
I think there's more speed in the race than.
Well, there isn't. But you think there's speed in a lot of races, and there's never speed in them. I mean, honestly, it's not a good argument for you. You know what? I thought she ran fine in here coming off that race. And speed wasn't winning on the turf in these sprints at all earlier in the meet. Thought she ran fine. I thought her win, she moved too soon, too back, coming off the layoff. I know George Weaver's barn's been struggling at the meet. But I just thought she was a reasonable alternative at a better price. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Nothing clever. I don't think fetching is out of it. You know what? I'm starting to really want the Cassies to win a race. Enough. You know, this was a great ride by Junior Alvarado. Now, obviously, they're dropping her and cutting her back. The 5.5 is a real question for her.
I mean,
She's pretty good, Anthony. And this was
I'm
a fast race.
Listen, I'm a fan.
And I'm starting to want them to win a race. I mean, enough's enough. You know, I mean,
I'll be
I know what it's like to get buried in Saratoga. It's no fun.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. Part of the reason I do not have Spikestown Gal and fetching higher because the barns are going cold right now.
Okay.
You know, it's part.
Well, how's important one going to be competitive here?
Well, what was wrong with her? I mean, what was wrong with her first
She caught
race?
a suicidal pace that completely collapsed
And
against a weaker field.
Right. Well, I do think there's. I don't think there's going to be pace like there was in that race for her. But
There isn't going to be pace in here.
okay.
I don't think. But by the way, she can be forward in here.
Yeah. Well,
She used to have speed, but I don't think Joelle. I think Joelle will stick to the plan he used last time. I just didn't get a great setup.
Well, you're also right. I mean, there was a lot of speed signed on last time, and a lot of it showed up. If you're right and there's not a lot signed on, maybe he does keep her closer. I don't know. I mean, look,
Tricky race.
I'm a
Tricky
heavy.
race.
I'm a heavy. See, I'm a heavy lean on lead guitar.
Okay.
So it's lead guitar. It's not lead guitar, right? I answered this question from somebody the other day. It's
Lead
definitely
guitar, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lead guitar player.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Angus
don't
Young.
play. I just play
The guy
harmonica.
who dressed as
The
lead.
guy I dressed as Angus Young last week.
You're more like John Popper if you're playing.
Absolutely, no
Playing.
question about it. I had a lot of popper to me. I just never got caught in an airport with sidearms.
You went to school with a friend. I think you went to Bennington, right? Went to school with my old girlfriend's.
I just know if you put if
brother.
you made a list of songs you've heard most in life, for me as a 43-year-old, "Run Around" by Blues Traveler is top 20 because
Saw them once.
in 2 years. I mean, you had to hear that song 8,000 times in 2 years. If you listen to popular radio,
So what do you do in the last race? Race number 9.
the finale.
I scratched. My top 2 choices scratched.
I
Linda,
scratched-
I have forgiven you for scratching Joe Smoking Gun.
I didn't scratch. I
I love Joe Smoking Gun today.
I picked Just Right.
Why? Wasn't he supposed to win last time?
Yeah, but the
He can
winner snuck
win.
up the good rail.
The winner was Manifest Destiny,
The
dude.
winner snuck up the good rail and
The
never left
winner
the
was
rail.
Manifest Destiny.
For the guy that loves talking about the biases,
The winner was
Andy,
Manifest Destiny.
But he
I don't think
used
it
the
was. I don't think it
bias.
was a super strong rail. I think the rail was an advantage that day. The rail day does not bear out as a super gold rail.
I mean, this is the day, right? This is the day we'll write down on the calendars. August 20th. I Love Lulu's going to run.
I know. It was an emotional
And we
moment for
didn't
me.
realize it, but when he scratched earlier, he probably had permission to scratch because he was going to enter in this race or was already entered into this race. Right? He was entered on Saturday.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We talked about it, but
Wow.
we don't have entries out.
You are. I mean, you are.
I was thinking about that the
You're
other
like
night. I was like,
George in Seinfeld the day that he was really sharp. You don't
that's
watch
the second
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld reference I was given today because I had some marble toast this morning. Is there a marble
Marble
rye
Rye.
thing?
Well, it was
Yeah.
at the old Royale Bakery, which is on my block, which closed like every other good place, right? It was right down the block from where I lived in Manhattan. The old Royale was a tremendous place.
Yeah.
That's where the chocolate babka and all that stuff. I Love Lulu. What do you do with her?
I'm using them. I'm using
Aren't
them.
they supposed to be moving? I mean, Dark Money's got to go from the rail. She's got to go. Bronx Bomber's going from the outside. Even for the ridiculousness of this place, you'd have to think there's a little bit of pace
This
here.
is gonna
Foolish
sound-
Ghost has got to
This is going
go.
to sound ridiculous, but
Foolish Ghost
I
has
think the
pace.
last thing you have to worry about is this horse getting into a speed duel today because all the horses that left the Jason Service barn, he kept their speed. I don't know where he hit it, but the speed's gone. So
But Foolish Ghost has speed and
Yeah.
Dark Money. What do you do with Dark Money? Saffy Joseph. This is the first Saffy Joseph claim. Anybody doesn't know Saffy Joseph's numbers? You ready? 39 for 104, for 104, 38% off the claim in dirt sprints, and a negative ROI. They're paying about 470. The horses that he's
imagine
winning.
that. Could you imagine winning almost 40%?
Now
on
they
a
are at
negative
Gulfstream. 3
Yeah.
diamonds. We have to discuss that. Not Maker, Saffy Joseph.
and dropping.
Well, he's still in the hunt. It's only 2 back, right? Doesn't Mike Dubb and Mike Rapoli have 7. I think 3 diamonds has 6, and Klarvich has 9.
There you go.
Okay, I took Wushu Warrior. Second off a layoff. For the suddenly hot Chris Englehart barn, the one yesterday. Took a tough beat in the last race here. It's the last race. Last race magic for Chris Englehart. Wushu Warrior has a fig that's fast enough to win 2 back. Last time out, chased in a much tougher spot. Didn't really even run that badly. Drops down, spot he belongs in. Pick up the pieces. The pace is fast. That's my
You
feeling.
could have came here and told. You could have.
Oh, this horse in the money?
You could
If
have.
Savvy Joseph resurrects Dark Money, who won on a ridiculous, speedy, wet, basically sloppy sealed track 2 back, I give up.
I'm probably just gonna be honestly. I'm probably just gonna hit the all button in the last race of the pick 4 and the pick 5. It's a headache. You'd be surprised if anybody wins. Like really, anybody? You're going to be surprised if everyone's like you said around here. You're going to be surprised if Bronx Bomber gets in front. Be surprised if that happens.
Round here, I wouldn't be surprised if Wushu Warrior wired
That's what I'm
the
trying
field.
to say. So, and that, it's you use the word resurrect with dark money. I love Lulu leave service. Just Right got beat by Manifest Destiny. I mean, you can't trust any of them. I'm just going to hit the all button. It's a cop out, and I know it is. I picked the
Did you
horse
get a lot
that's
of
going to be
sleep
one of
last
the
night?
favorites, but I'm hitting the all button.
How
and
much
hoping
sleep
for
did
the
you get
best.
last night?
I
didn't
got
sleep well.
plenty of sleep, man.
No,
I
you're
had a
sharp
couple
today.
of drinks in front of the hotel.
I'm very impressed.
I'm good.
Really.
I'm good. I feel good today. Is today Thursday?
You look good.
Going home Sunday?
I thought you weren't going home anymore.
No, I'm going
We
to go home
discussed
Sunday.
this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going to go home Sunday.
So that means mini golf is out for the days off.
Following week, we'll do something.
We'll see. You, on the other hand,
I mean,
are
we almost
not
have to
allowed
win
to go to
any
mini
lunches
golf
bet.
unless you join Naira Bets. Okay, that's the way it is. No mini golf for you if you're not a member of Naira Bets. If you are,
That's fair.
I'll permit it. Support racing in New York. We are offering a free $25 play. We will match up to $200 your initial deposit. What more do you need? Promo code is Derby25. Head to NairaBets.com. Sign up. Join Naira Bets. $2,000 hit and split on the late pick 5 today at Saratoga through the app only. Once again, this can be very lucrative. Another reason to play and to get involved. Huge prices on it yesterday relative to pick 4. Much, much better value. Also, the contest, $250 buy-in every Sunday. 3 of them left. $2,500 seeded pool. Every Sunday, go to Naira.com/challenge. And finally, Naira.com/Saratoga Live. Or is that /? It's
I
actually,
say backslash like you do.
yeah, whatever. It sounds better. Watch it live. We'll be showing all the races today. Races 2 through 9, I should say, on Fox Sports. Head on over and check out what networks we'll be on. Of course, we're always on the Naira YouTube page. Anthony, it was a pleasure.
Backslash would be a good horse name. Maybe a flashback. Backflash. Backslash. / sounds boring. Backslash sounds like, what'd you do to that guy? I back.